And for more now on those investigations, Paul Moorcraft joins me from Guildford in the UK. He's the Director of the Centre for Foreign Policy Analysis. Thanks very much for your time, Paul. More arrests now, and obviously adding to the arrests that have been made in 3 countries now. But do you think the security intelligence forces could have acted quicker on this?
You say, have they got a grip on it? Well, clearly not, because as far as the Americans and the British intelligence services are concerned, the Belgians are a failed state in intelligence terms, a rich failed state, but nonetheless failed. They have lots of problems internally because their police are divided, the military are divided. They've got so many districts. As I said, there was no government for a year. There's no coordination. So if you see what's happened in Belgium, it's a similar problem across Europe. That is partly because of the border issues, because of Schengen. There are no proper controls. Now, all this is changing because, first of all, Brussels is the centre, it's the Washington, if you like, of Europe. It's the centre of NATO, it's the centre of the European Union. And so the Americans and the British and the French and the Germans are very concerned about the poor coordination. It's like a stovepipe. Each one has got their own pipe, and they're not talking across the border. There's a lot of suspicion. So the intelligence in counter-terrorism are in a mess, hence all these attacks.
But links have been made. The links between the Paris attacks are becoming apparent now. How was this possible for these attacks to be planned in Brussels?
Well, you have to look at the social reasons as well, that there's high unemployment in the areas in the crescent of poverty, as it's called, around Brussels, like Moulbec, where some of the perpetrators, the Islamic State perpetrators, come from. You've got unemployment rates amongst young people of 20, 30, 40%. So there's a sense of deprivation. And I'm often asked, and it's always brought up, well, these guys were running bars, they were criminals, how come they're religious? Well, it's quite straightforward. These guys feel that they're not identifying with Belgium or Europe. They can't go back to Morocco. A lot of them drift into crime and drugs and end up in prison. Now, the prison is the university of Islamic education. So a lot of these guys are educated in prison and then go on to involve themselves in the Islamic State. So there is a major problem in a number of cities in Belgium and in France where you've got not religious fanatics, but people who are alienated and drift into the Islamic State. Some are religious, most are not. So you've got a problem in the alienation. So this is a decade-long social problem besides the immediate intelligence coordination.
Okay, Paul, thanks very much for your time there. That's Paul Moorcraft joining me from Guildford in the UK on the latest details on the investigation where 2 more men have been charged.